We need more than just each other.
Well, at least 4 supporting cast. Yes, more than just.
I don't think Ron wants us to play and himself sitting in the corner and listening.
I'm thinking. I had this idea with the abusive mother, but if I would take that away, can we have? If we take, I can. If we take a relationship with the abusive mother, can we have that I have a father that is the captain of this ship or controller of this ship in any way, and that way I have got help to. He knows I have a problem with talking to people or like that, except for some and by that way I have come into the ship. So it's more of
you have an advantage. You have an advantageous relationship with some authority on the ship of some kind.
Yeah, okay. And that can be a both plus, mean that I came to the ship, but it can be a minus because people say you only came here for your father.
Of course.
So.
Okay, so yes, and you can also.
Can I have
Yeah, go ahead, Ola. Sorry.
I'm looking for a good word for someone that is. He has an imposter syndrome and all that, but that doesn't mean that he sucks.
Right.
So, if you say that
you can't have imposter syndrome if you are really an imposter.
No, exactly. Mm-hmm. So, can you say that you're resourceful? Is that too vague for a trait?
It's a wonderful trait.
Yeah,
it's a great trait.
And did you say one trait and 2 connections, or the other way around?
Either is fine. That is up to you. That's why my numbers became confused.
I mean, if my character is an engineer, it feels appropriate that he is good with numbers.
Okay, that sounds.
He's a good mathematician. If he's good in physics, he can be good in physics and mathematics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds logical.
The connections you have, or those characters, they have to be some kind of harmonious. You don't place that's not where you have your nemesis or.
No, there's even if you don't like that character and they don't like you, they are still an advantage to your character.
All right.
These are your weapons and your spells. We will enjoy watching you use your weapons and your spells in our story.
Yeah, all right. Then I think I have one second trait.
Mm-hmm.
I am, compared to people around me, somewhat wealthy.
Ah, okay, good enough. Interesting. Okay. So I think almost everybody has almost everything at this time. Sandra, did you want to stay with the family members or did you want to adjust your connections a little bit?
Well, since they were going to be on the ship, I'll have to adjust. So I was thinking about my idea with Max, but perhaps another person that works somewhere else on the ship or maybe in the lab with me. Because it's always good to, have some sort of conversation or idea about what you're seeing or in the researching. So maybe someone I met from class. And,
sure. Yeah. So someone else involved in the sciences in some way.
Yes.
Okay. Now, another possible point is that we don't want to overdo this, but it is allowed for anyone to name another character as a nemesis, somebody who gives your characters a lot of trouble. And this is for your character, not a group enemy. And one thing I was thinking of, Sandra, if you wanted to keep the ex-boyfriend, for example, the problematic ex-boyfriend, then they could be a nemesis for your character. And that's not a connection. That's a completely different thing, and there is no mechanics there. There's no numbers or anything.
If we want my nemesis to be on the ship, we could have the cleaning guy or lady, because I'm making too much of a mess.
Okay, you could do that, but that's. I was thinking of how am I going to put it? I just wanted to know if you wanted to keep the ex-boyfriend or not.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see. How about a name for Max's character?
We can say Mark.
Mark.
It's a guy. We can say that. I think it's appropriate if I play a guy, because I'm a guy myself.
Personal choice.
Everyone has because
yes.
Because I have this is the first time, so I think it's good to play it safe.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So,
Ola, what about a name for your character?
Gerard Erling.
Is that with a G or a J?
G.
Yeah. Okay.
I can post it in the chat if you.
Oh, I see. I kind of like that. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, we have the one of the cooks. We have sort of I'm trying to remember the difference between between Mark and Gerard. Mark works right there with the mathematics and the mining and the machinery of taking samples from the planet and the heavy equipment. This is one of these things where a heavy probe is released from the ship, and it takes a huge sample, and all the machinery has to work right. There are thousands and thousands of tons of metric tons of metal doing its job in space, and it has to work right. So you are one of these guys who is making. Remember, this is hard work. You are not some theoretical. You are good at physics and mathematics, and it helps you do things. But you are an engineer. You are a solid laborer on these kinds of machines. Is that right?
Is it me, or is it?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm hoping I'm not mixing up the characters. So, remind me, which of you said you wanted your character to be like a manager kind of character? That was Ola.
Yeah, more of project manager.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's me.
Got it.
Minor project manager.
I was going to say yes, assistant project manager. Yes.
Yeah, with a very long, meaningless title.
Got it. Okay, so Max, help me out. What does your character do?
I basically fix things. If I'm a mechanic/engineer, depending on. So if something goes awry, I go and fix it.
And I kind of like the idea that you are educationally overqualified for your job, so you understand the physics and the math more than just the repair.
Yeah,
right.
And
because you have this family connection of some kind. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But because I'm so into myself, right. I do this job and I'm comfortable with it.
Oh yeah. No, I got it. So let's see. I'm getting the idea for this. This is kind of interesting. Now, there is something called screen presence in this game. And your screen presence is either 1, 2, or 3 for any episode. And for when we play the first episode, which is called the pilot, where we are basically just meeting the characters and seeing how they deal with conflicts. After the pilot, you will revise your characters if you don't really like, if you like them better slightly differently. And the pilot is either before the season starts, or if it's really good, we can just say that it's the first episode of the season. Either way. And so the pilot is a session of play. And for the pilot, your screen presence is 2. Everybody. Now, we could stop there and play, or you can think about what you want screen presence to do over the 5 episodes of the season. Because you would have 1 3, 2 2s, and 2 1s. And you can put them wherever you want in the 5 episodes. If your screen presence is 1, then you are just kind of a background character with a couple of opinions. If your screen presence is 3, then this episode is all about you. Your problem in great big lights. And if your screen presence is 2, then you are kind of in between. You could either have your own story proceeding, or you could be a fairly important supporting member to another character or something like that. Or you could be very involved, but it's just not all about you. So you could think of 5 episodes, not the pilot. Think of 5 episodes and put those 5 numbers in any order you want. Just don't put 3 in the first one. That's boring.
But do we have to decide this before the pilot?
Well, it's up to us, but I personally think it's kind of fun. We can at least put a provisional, a possible sequence in place.
I like to just don't know. Let's see what happens.
Well, yes, but in this particular game, you do map out the numbers ahead of time for 5 episodes. So, for example, if you wanted to, you could say 1 1 2 2 3, which obviously means a slow crawl up to the climax of your character's problem. Or you could say, you know what, I'm just going to do a 2 and a 3, and then the rest are 2s and 1s. I want to get this out of the way as quick as possible. I'm like the first big story of the season, and then after that, I'm just going to coast along. Something like that.
I'm done. Do we keep mom until everybody is?
I'd like to see what everybody says. We get everybody's numbers in order, and then we will announce.
So it's 2 1s, 2 2s, and 1 3.
Correct. And don't put a 3 on the first one.
Okay.
If no one puts a 3 in the first,
so I wouldn't.
It's perfectly okay to play an episode with any combination. You don't need a 3 on every episode, believe me.
Wait, are you sure?
Sure.
Yeah, in fact, one of my favorites is episodes where everyone has 1s. There's nothing wrong
Maybe
with
we
that.
can manage.
You know what happens then? The space bugs attack. And who cares about all your problems? Let's just see if you can get the space bugs.
It's very, very hard to. I'm just putting different sequences of numbers, and I'm trying to motivate why. And I
don't worry about it. It's completely abstract.
You know what?
Completely.
Take a die.
That's right.
Take a die and roll it.
There's no wrong sequence. It's just if you feel it, then you don't. You do, and if you don't, then just put it down at random. Either is fine.
All right.
I found one that suits my character.
Excellent. Okay, so we have 3 now. Ola, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so for episode 1, what is Mark's screen presence?
1.
Sam?
2.
Gerard?
1.
And Nia?
1.
Okay.